This is the Kyoto City Fire Department. Kyoto has developed as a world-class historical city where Japanese traditions and culture continues to exist along with the abundant nature called Sanshi Suimei. Our mission is to protect lives of citizens, cultural properties, and traditional streetscapes from disasters and pass them on to the future generations. Japan is a country with beautiful four seasons, but it is also a country with many natural disasters. In addition, there are many old wooden buildings in Kyoto, and once a fire breaks out, there is a possible danger that it will spread widely around. On this video, you will learn what you need to be careful about to prevent a fire, what you need to do when a fire breaks out, and to protect yourself from natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods, and landslides. Fire prevention. A fire breaks out from a little carelessness. The other way of saying, you can also prevent it by taking a little care in your daily life. Let's take a look at what causes a fire and what you should be careful about to prevent it. Smoking fire safety tips. Cigarettes are a familiar cause of fires. If you are not careful when you smoke, it can cause a big fire. Cigarettes cause fires are mainly by not extinguishing the cigarettes properly and dropping cigarettes. Do not smoke while lying down. Smoke in a fixed place and use an ashtray. Make sure to extinguish the cigarette butts, such as by soaking them in water once. Heating appliances safety tips. A fire can also occur from heating appliances. Fires can also start from electric stoves, which are considered safe. Electric does not mean ensuring safety. Make sure to read and follow the instructions. Do not put flammable materials around heating equipment. Switch off before going to bed. Do not dry the laundry on the stove. Microwave safety tips. If you use a microwave oven incorrectly, there is a danger of a big fire. Make a distinction between what you can heat and what you should not, and do not overheat it more than necessary. Do not heat metals, such as aluminum. Read the instructions before heating items. Do not heat up anything more than necessary. Kitchen stoves and the kitchen area safety tips. The kitchen is a danger zone where fires can occur. Fires often occur when you leave the area, especially when you are using fire. Make sure to turn the stove off when you leave. Do not use electric kettles or microwave on the stove. Always keep things organized around the stove. And do not place seasonings. If the oil catches fire. When cooking with oil such as fried food, the oil may catch fire. It is very dangerous to pour water on the lit oil. The fire will not go out, but the oil will spill all over. If the oil catches fire, When the flame is small, turn off the stove and cover the pot. If flame becomes bigger, use a fire extinguisher. If you think it's dangerous, leave immediately and call 119. If a fire breaks out. If you find a fire or cause the fire, it is important that you take the necessary actions and the correct procedure. Let's check together what to do when a fire breaks out in order to reduce the damage caused by the fire. Noticing a fire. If you notice a fire, it is important to people around know in a loud voice. When a fire breaks out, there is a limit to what you can do on your own. First, let the people around know and call for help. Fire alarm in house. All houses are equipped with alarms that notify you of a fire with a sound or voice. This alarm makes a loud noise so you can notice a fire even when you are asleep. Look at the ceilings at home. White and round equipment is always installed in bedrooms and kitchens. If you hear the sound, first check your surroundings to see if there is a fire. Dial 119. If a fire breaks out, call 119 as soon as possible. When you dial 119, first, let them know that there is a fire. 火事です. Next, tell the location of the fire. Then, tell what is burning. At the end, tell if anyone was injured. The staff will guide you in order with what you need to tell, so please stay calm and answer the questions. If you don't understand Japanese, tell the staff, 外国人です。日本語がわかりません。An interpreter will be on the phone. In addition to Japanese, Kyoto City prepared for interpreters and accepts 119 calls in 5 languages: English, Chinese, Korean, Spanish, and Portuguese. Initial fire extinguishing. It's important to extinguish a fire in an early stage. After calling 119, provide an early extinguishing using a fire extinguisher. While the fire is in an early stage, besides the fire extinguisher, cover a burning object with a wet towel. Heat with a cushion. You can extinguish the fire by such methods. Fire extinguisher. The most effective way for initial fire extinguishing is the using fire extinguisher. Let's check how to use the fire extinguisher so you can use it in an emergency situation. How to use a fire extinguisher. Bring it near the fire. Pull out the yellow pin. Point the nozzle at the fire source and grasp the lever. You can use the fire extinguisher with such easy steps. However, it's difficult to remember how to use it that you don't normally use. In such a case, please remember these 2 points. Anyone can use a fire extinguisher. There is an instruction written on the main body. So, use the fire extinguisher with confidence when you need it. It's also helpful to have a spray-type residential fire extinguisher in your kitchen in case of emergency. Evacuation and response. It's important to put out the fire while it's small, but the most important thing is not to lose your life and get hurt. It's generally said that it's difficult to extinguish a fire if it spreads to the height of the ceiling. If you feel danger, evacuate immediately without forcibly extinguishing the fire. The main cause of death from a fire is suffocated or poisoned by inhaling large amounts of smoke. As the smoke goes up high, there is fresh air near the ground. When evacuating, cover your nose and mouth with a handkerchief and lower your posture. It's important never to go back inside once evacuate. What are natural disasters? Unlike fires, which can be prevented with a little care, natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods, and landslides cannot be prevented by human power. However, it's important to reduce the damage by learning about natural disasters, such as when they could occur and what could happen, and about disaster preparedness. From here, let's take a look at the major natural disasters that occur in Japan, what you need to know in advance, and how to evacuate. What is an earthquake? An earthquake is a major natural disaster that occurs in Japan. Do you know about earthquakes? Have you ever experienced an earthquake in your country? An earthquake is a phenomenon in which the ground shakes, and when a large earthquake occurs, the buildings get destroyed and water, electricity, and gas won't be available. Presence of active faults in Kyoto has been confirmed, and it's uncertain when an earthquake occurs. We need to know what kind of preparation we need in advance. What are floods and landslides? Floods and landslides have occurred frequently in last few years. Flood is the overflow of river water and flooding the city. Landslides are the collapse of mountains and sweep away buildings. Both of them are often caused by heavy rains caused by typhoons. Many typhoons land in Japan from August to October. It's important to know in advance about what we need to do for a preparation when the typhoon comes. Emergency survival items. It's important to always have what you need, what is important to you, so that you can escape immediately no matter what happens. Kyoto City calls to prepare emergency items such as water, food, clothes, daily necessities, and ID cards, and place them somewhere you can take right away. That way, you can evacuate immediately in an event of disaster. For non-Japanese, in addition to water, food, and daily necessities, It's also important to prepare a passport and a resident card as emergency items. Disaster Preparedness Handbook for International Residents. Detailed explanations of earthquakes, disaster preparedness, and explanations of typhoons related to floods and landslides can be found in the Disaster Preparedness Handbook for International Residents, published by the Kyoto Prefectural International Center. This handbook is published in 9 languages in addition to easy Japanese. You can get the handbook at the Kyoto Prefectural International Center. It is also available on the website. You can learn more about natural disasters by taking a look at the handbook along with the handouts you have received today. So, I recommend you to look at the handbook when you can get the chance. Gather information before an earthquake occurs. Earthquakes occur suddenly. Earthquake early warning will be issued right before the shaking in order to prepare for the large sudden shaking. This is a mechanism that predicts the time and strength of shaking when an earthquake occurs, and it notifies you several seconds to several tens of seconds before the earthquake occurs. When you receive earthquake early warning, please take an action to protect yourself, such as slowing down your car or stopping whatever you are doing. You can watch earthquake early warning on TV and the internet. Also, you may receive a message on your cell phone. Gather information before floods and landslides occur. Unlike in case of earthquakes, forecasts for floods and landslides will be announced in advance. When the rain or wind gets stronger, an advisory. When it gets stronger, a warning. And when it becomes life-threatening, an emergency warning will be issued. When a disaster is about to occur, we issue evacuation for the elderly people and others to encourage people to start preparing. And when the risk of a disaster increases, we issue an evacuation order. This information can be viewed on TV, the internet, and an application called Safety Tips that will be introduced later. So be sure to check the information when the rains and winds are getting stronger. Evacuation from earthquake. When an earthquake strikes, the first important thing is to protect yourself until the shaking settles down. Go under somewhere such as a desk and protect your head from falling objects and falling furniture. Once shaking settles down, make sure that the fire is extinguished. And then go to a local meeting place with the necessary items, such as emergency items. Please contact your local fire department for local meeting places. If no longer being able to stay at home, go to a designated shelter with local people. The designated shelter is a place where people who can no longer live in their own houses live and help each other. The shelter provides food, drinks, and things you need for a daily life. You can also get disaster information. Of course, it is available for non-Japanese as well. Evacuation from floods and landslides. Unlike in case of earthquakes, It is important to evacuate ahead of time from floods and landslides. If you feel that you are in danger, escape to upper floors at home, a sturdy and safe building, or a designated emergency evacuation site. The designated emergency evacuation site is a place to protect people from floods and landslides, and is a sturdy building located away from mountains and rivers. Non-Japanese can also use it same as the designated evacuation site. If a flood or landslide occurs, and you feel that it is dangerous to escape to the outside, evacuate to the second floor or above of building, or upper floor of your home away from mountains. Please use designated evacuation site if you can no longer stay at home. For information of designated evacuation sites and designated emergency evacuation sites, contact the nearest ward office, branch, or fire department. Website information. On the website, Kyoto City is providing information about natural disasters and tips for fire prevention. Kyoto City Fire Department website. On the Kyoto City Fire Department website, it provides information about natural disasters and tips for fire prevention. It is available in foreign languages. Kyoto City Disaster Prevention and Crisis website. At the Kyoto City Disaster Prevention and Crisis website, you can see weather information such as advisory and warnings, information on natural disasters, and hazard maps that show the expected damage if a natural disaster occurs. It is also available in foreign languages. Safety Tips application. It is an application that provides you information of earthquake early warnings and weather. In addition, it also provides information about the risk of earthquakes and weather, a flowcharts of actions to take in case of emergency, and questionnaires to use when you want to gather information from people around you. There are links to embassies and tourist information centers as well. Information is available in 15 languages. Call for fire trucks and an ambulance. Call 119 for both fire trucks and an ambulance. Call 119 for fire trucks. First, say 火事です. Next, tell the location. Then, tell what is burning. At the end, tell if anyone is injured. Call 119 for an ambulance. First, say 救急車 to tell that you need an ambulance. Next, tell to where you need an ambulance. Then, tell what happened to whom. The staff will guide you in order with what you need to tell, so please stay calm and answer the questions. If you don't understand Japanese, tell the staff 外国人です。日本語がわかりません。An interpreter will be on the phone. In addition to Japanese, Kyoto City prepared for interpreters and accepts 119 calls in 5 languages: English, Chinese, Korean, Spanish, and Portuguese. Early reports in emergency situations can lead to a better result. If you think it is necessary, please do not hesitate to call 119. Fire departments and ambulance are available free of charge. Introduction of report request cards. At the back of the brochures issued by Kyoto City, there are cards to help you report. It describes what to say in case of fire, injuries, or sudden illness. So if you call 119 while looking at the cards, you can have a smooth conversation. If you have difficulty speaking Japanese, show applicable part of the card to someone nearby. The person will call a fire department or a police on your behalf. A fire can be prevented with a little care. Preparation will help minimize damages from natural disasters. Japan is a country with beautiful 4 seasons, but it is also a country with many natural disasters. It's difficult to live in a country with different lifestyles and weather conditions, but we do our best to protect your safe and secure life. Please have a safe and fulfilling life in Japan.